It's G.TV. I'm Chef Marcus Giuliano. I'm a chef on a mission. Say hi, Dina.
Hi.
I'm putting you on the spot right now, Dina.
All right.
You just walked into the office. You're getting ready to do some work. Add some wines into the wine list. What do you know about Roman gladiators? Those big, buff Roman gladiators who fought each other till the death.
I mean, that's basically the gist of it. I know they were big and burly, and they wore those metal
Shields.
and
What do you think they ate?
turkey legs.
Turkey legs?
I mean, I gotta guess they ate a lot of meat.
You gotta guess they ate a lot of meat?
I would have to say so, yeah.
Okay. I'm reading an article online here. This is all over the news right now. Not all over, but there's several articles and several links to this right now. It's current and it's not current, because this has been the diet of the gladiators, of Roman gladiators, has been talked about, over the last several years. So Roman gladiators ate a vegetarian diet and washed it down with a sports drink of ashes and vinegar, of plant ashes and vinegar. Study claims Roman gladiators ate grains, beans with a tonic of ashes. Researchers examined bones from a 2nd century gladiator cemetery. So they did, Dina, was they went in and they studied their cartilage, they studied their bones, they studied, they have ways of studying that so they can figure out what they ate, what their primary diet was. And their primary diet was vegetarian.
That's crazy.
They were vegetarians. They were also called barley eaters because they ate a lot of barley, which is really interesting. Because a lot of people, think when you see the depictions of Roman gladiators, they are these big buff guys, right?
Right.
Now I've even heard Julius Caesar's army was vegetarian. That their primary source of protein was wheat. That was one of their main foods, was wheat. I think I heard that through a David Wolf recording at one point. I don't know where the backing of that came from. That was just him saying that. But it was just interesting that these guys are vegetarians. And it wasn't because they couldn't afford meat. It was just because that was the chosen diet. Beans, grains. I mean, it's really an interesting thing. To see this, and there's of course there's speculation online. People say, oh well, they ate the carbs to fatten up, right? The other people are saying no, they ate the carbs for endurance, because this is an all-day event. You're sitting there basically battling till your death, right? So I think there's a lot of misinformation on there about carbohydrates and making people fat to begin with. And if you read, if you read certain people, especially if you read like the 80-10-10 diet and you read a lot of this stuff, because you have two fences of carbs and no carbs. You have the paleo people saying no carbs, no carbs, no carbs, the Atkins, no carbs, no carbs. Then you have the vegetarians that's carbs, 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 carbs. So it's really interesting to see that. Now, sure, if you eliminate carbs and you eat a high protein diet, you're going to lose weight. But the studies are just the same on the opposite side. If you avoid high fat, high protein, you avoid the meat, and you eat a high complex carbohydrate diet, it's just as effective as weight loss. The problem is people aren't good with separating fat and carbohydrates. They're great with eating protein and nothing else, because they say, oh, I can eat a steak, I can eat cheese, I can eat eggs, and I can skip bread, right? I can skip bread, I can skip that, because it's easier for me just to bulk up, because our mindset is just, well, meat, meat, meat. But even Gary Null, I've heard him say for the longest time that a high carbohydrate diet with a very low fat and low protein intake is just as effective, but it's a healthier way to lose weight. But the problem is people don't know how to eat good carbohydrates, because we're really not taught what the better carbohydrates are. So they're not taught to eat good carbohydrates and avoid the fat, because they're still using olive oil, they're still using butter, they're still eating protein that like meat that has fat in it. So that's the problem right there, is when you don't really focus due diligently on just high quality carbohydrates. Now, if anybody's been following my blog, I've lost 36 pounds earlier in the year on a high complex carbohydrate diet. But I wasn't eating butter, I wasn't eating olive oil. In fact, I eliminated mostly all extracted fats out of my diet. I watched my nut intake. I was still eating nuts, but I wasn't eating handfuls of nuts. I wasn't eating snacks. I looked at every single label and I said, what's the ratio of fat? So I was following a ratio of fat, which was a very small ratio of 10% fat in my diet. I was still getting high quality, good fat in the fats I was eating, but I wasn't. But it's so easy to add all this extra fat into your diet that you really don't know through snack foods, even healthy, so-called healthy snack foods. And through like so-called healthy salad dressings like olive oil, and by just cooking foods, by merely cooking foods in a saute pan and adding oil, you're adding all this fat, and all that adds up. So that's the problem. You can't have the fat and the carbs at the same time. That's where there's a problem. That's just my take on the daily news here, and not daily news, but just something that was really, really interesting here on.
I think it's really cool.
Right, really, really
Yeah,
cool
I do
information to know on gladiators and their diet. And I need to really do some more research on Julius Caesar's army, because they supposedly were vegetarian. In fact, David Wolf had even said at one point that Julius Caesar had written a raw food cookbook.
Wow.
Yeah, a raw food cookbook. So I just have to really reference that and get points before I really say something that I don't know if it's true or not. So I'm Chef Marcus Giuliano. Thanks for watching this video. If you like my videos, please hit like, subscribe to my channel, and definitely pass it on.